everyone, my name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another soap making video. Today I'm going to be making a custom loaf of soap. I'm using a palm-free recipe and they've asked that I do it in a rainbow layer using Rainbow Sherbet. So I thought I'd take you along and show you how I do my layered soaps when we've got lots of layers to do. Let's go. Okay, so let's get started with this one. We are going to be doing this soap a little bit differently because we are working in lots and lots of layers. So the first thing I'm actually going to do, and I only do this for layered soaps where I know I'm not doing any messing around in between the layers, is I have got my fragrance oil here, Rainbow Sherbet, which has notes of lime, pineapple, orange, raspberry and a bit of vanilla, and I'm going to pour it straight into my oils and give that a good mix. Just means I have one less thing to have to worry about measuring out on each of my layers, so it's just going to make it a lot more simple, easier, and it also means I have not forgotten to put fragrance into any of my layers. So we've got all of that nicely mixed in, and what I'm now going to do is split it out for each of my layers one at a time. So I know exactly how many oil or how much oil I've got, and I take that number. I want 6 different colors, so I'm going to divide my oils by 6, and I've worked out that I need to pour off 283 grams of oil per layer, and to then get that to saponify I need a total of 131 of my sodium hydroxide distilled water solution. So we're going to start off doing the red layer first. So I'm going to pour off my 283 into this jug. Alright, so now that I've got those oils weighed out, I'm going to weigh out my lye solution here. So we needed 131. Perfect. And as I said, we've already got fragrance oil in there. The next thing I'm going to do also, and just do each layer quickly, is going to be to add in my micas into my oils. So I have got some really red mica here from Nurture Soap, so I'm going to add that in. That was probably a little bit too much, but it's too late now. We will get that mixed in, pour our lye water solution in here, and then we will pour it into our mold. So I still actually want this quite fluid when I'm pouring these layers, so I can make sure I get a nice straight even layer here. If it's too thick, then it's just going to be a little bit bumpy, but this is looking really nice. Let's get this jug scraped down. Alright, so in between each of my layers I have these towels. Now I know this one looks really, really dirty, but I promise it is clean out of the container. And what I do is I just wipe off all of my equipment here, and then I leave these cloths to one side until that soap has completely set up. And usually every couple of weeks I throw all of my cloths through the washing machine, but I have to wait until that has actually set up to soap, and so I'm not putting oils through my washing machine. But I want to clean these off so I don't taint any of the other colors, especially once we get into colors like yellow and green. So let's get this one cleaned. Alright, and then we're going to start that process again. So let's get our scales and tear them out here. And we're going to pour out that same amount of oil and the lye solution. This time we are going to be doing orange. I've actually said this to myself in the last 30 minutes while making this, but the thing that keeps going through my head is Richard of York gained battle in vain. Has anyone else heard of that saying? That is what I was taught to remember the order. I'll just get my stick here. The order of the colour of the rainbow. So the first letter of each of those words in the saying represents the colour. So for example, Richard is red, Of is orange, York is yellow, and so on. How do you guys remember the colours of the rainbow? I remember being taught that one in primary school because I couldn't remember any of the other sort of rhymes. I also actually don't know the words of that proper rainbow song. I never know what order the colours actually are. I know that they're completely wrong colours, they're not the colours of the rainbow, but I can never actually remember that song. But I was always taught Richard of York gained battle in vain. What little sayings were you taught to remember the colours of those rainbows? So even though the rainbow does have 7 colours, so we've got indigo and violet at the end, I'm only using that one colour, purple, but I always make my purple a slightly thicker layer because of you do generally have those 2 purples, the best colour out there if you ask me. So I always do that purple layer just that little bit thicker, just to represent that there are 2 purples in a rainbow. So this one is all done. I'm hoping I haven't messed it up too much. For some reason the green didn't set nearly as quickly as all of the other colours. So when I was actually pouring the green, I noticed it was starting to move. I think I stopped it just in time and was able to get the rest of the layer to actually come up nice. But we will have to wait until tomorrow to have a look. Now, because this is a rainbow soap, I am just going to put a very quick sprinkle of some rainbow holographic glitter across the top, just to finish this one off nicely. So there's really not much to see on this one, but I'm going to leave this one sit here for the next 24 hours and then we're going to come back and see just how straight I managed to get the layers in this one. Rainbow Sherbet is now all ready to cut and it is just looking absolutely stunning. I'm so pleased with how those layers have come together. I am keen to see what has happened in that sort of area where the green was, where it did start to slide on me. Let's get this one lined up and we'll cut it open and see what happened. Let's go through. I've left this one sit here for a couple of days just because there is no palm oil in it. I find that they need a couple of extra days before I can actually cut these ones open. So I'm almost through. Alright, so let's take a look. It's going to be very, very simple because it is just straight up layers, but how bright and cheerful is it? I absolutely love how that has come together. The layers are almost perfectly straight. There's a couple of little bumps in there, but that's okay. No rainbow is absolutely perfect when you are looking at them, but I'm really, really pleased with how that has actually come together. I think that sort of area where the green moved was around about here. So let's take a look. It's actually not too bad. There is just a little bit of the blue that's really dipped down into it, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that is how I do my rainbow layered soaps. I hope that has helped those of you that have been struggling with how to actually make the different layers. That is just one of the ways in which you can do layered soap. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made my Rainbow Sherbet custom soap here. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. If you've got any questions, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And until the next video, I hope you have a good one and I'll see you then. Bye.